Good evening and welcome into Farmington High School, where tonight a Region 1 champion will be crowned as we have the Farmington Phoenix taking on the Fremont Silverwolves. Trevor Allen alongside longtime offensive coordinator Dave Harrison. And Dave, we've got a great matchup tonight of two teams who a lot of people didn't think coming into the year were going to be playing for a Region 1 title.
Yeah, I'm excited about this game. Both Coach Coates and Coach Tuatagaloa from Fremont have done fantastic jobs turning these programs around from last season, and Region 1 title on the line. Everybody thought Weber and Davis were going to be the teams, and here we are. Fremont wins this game. They're outright champs. Farmington wins. It's co-region champions with Fremont. So excited for this game, looking forward to it.
From what as I was talking to the coaches pregame, Coach Tuatagaloa said that it's going to be the first region title as a member of 6A classification for Fremont, which, I mean, coming into his first year, coming from Ben Lohman as an assistant coach, it's pretty impressive taking over a program and already playing for region title in one of the toughest regions in this state.
Yeah, extremely competitive region. Coach Nate, I actually coached years ago. He's got a really passionate personality. He loves his boys, and you can see that they respond to a coach that has that kind of an attitude. He works hard, and he really gives all the credit to his coaches and his players, but he needs to take a lot of the credit for what's happening here.
All right, so as you can see right now, they're doing the coin toss. We'll find out who's going to get the ball first, and just so as we look at these matchups for Farmington, their offense is centered around Travis Hoops.
A huge game last week against Davis. Over 250 yards total offense. He returned a kickoff for a touchdown. Had a whole bunch of yards on the ground. And you're right, if Farmington's going to win the game, they're going to ride him and their run game.
And then for Fremont, it's all centered around the quarterback, who is Manasseh Tuatagaloa, the son of Coach Tuatagaloa.
And he's had a great year. I like the way he throws the ball. He's lefty. He sees the field really well. He makes good reads, and he's one of those kind of quarterbacks that gets the ball out on time. And anytime, especially at this level in high school football, if you've got a quarterback who can read a defense and get the ball out on time, you're one step ahead of the competition already.
All right, so we're just about ready to get going here, and as Coach Harrison mentioned, if Fremont wins, they're outright champions. If Farmington wins, they will be co-champions. So no matter what, Fremont will at least have a share of the Region 1 title as we go into the playoffs. It's hard to believe, Dave, we're already in the final week of the regular season.
Yeah, boy, the year sure goes by. It seems like the summer practices and weightlifting and condition just drags and drags and drags, and then all of a sudden, Game 1, week 1, you're there. Next thing, it's the last week of the season, and you're looking at playoffs. So it's crazy how quick this year's gone by.
So as you look on your screen, we've got Fremont in the home or in the road white, and Farmington in the home black. And it looks like Fremont is going to receive the kickoff from Farmington, and the kickoff will go right to left as you watch it here on KSLSports.com. Glad to have you in. It's going to be a great one as a Region 1 title and a champion will be crowned here tonight, as we're just days away from the big reveal of who will be what seed in the playoffs.
Fremont's got Celesi Moa back to receive along with Jace Hadley, and Celesi's had a great year. He was at Weber last year. He's here at Fremont. He's got a couple of brothers down at BYU playing. His dad played in the NFL, played at Utah, so pretty good pedigree.
Yeah, Moa has 6 touchdowns through the air on the year, which is tied for the lead, and then Hadley's the other one who has six touchdowns, so 12 just between those two coming from Manasseh Tuatagaloa. As we're getting ready to kick it off, and we are underway here from Farmington High School on the Rewind Sports Network. It'll go way into the back of the end zone for a touchback, so they will come out to the 20-yard line, and it's our first look at Manasseh Tuatagaloa and the Silverwolves offense.
Coach Tuatagaloa told me early this week that they've got to control the trenches to win this ball game. They need to control the clock, stay ahead of the chains, and let their defense do what they've been doing. We'll see how they start. If heading dead into the wind, it may be a first quarter where they run the ball a lot.
Yeah, definitely. The wind is whipping so far, and the sun's already gone down, so you don't have to worry about sun getting in players' faces and all that as we go here in the gun. Here's Tua Tagovailoa, play action. Now he's going to hand off to number 4. That is John Suka. He'll get out to about the 27-yard line, a gain of 7 on first down.
Great start on that reverse. They pulled their right guard. He sealed the edge. Pretty good play by Farmington to come up and get that stop because they had the edge on that. The corner came up, made a nice play.
So they'll actually mark him at the 28, so it's 2nd and 2 here. As Tua Tagovailoa is in the gun, he's got 2 wide, both at the top and the bottom of your screen. He'll drop back, quick pitch and catch. Out to number 8, that is Celesi Moa, and he will be marked down at about the 36-yard line, which will be obviously good enough for a first down.
That's a strong arm to get the ball all the way from the right hash to the left flat on a line, especially into the wind, and really you get your ball to your best players, and that's what they're doing there. Another good call brings up first down.
It's actually a battle of the offensive play callers. Coach Coates calls the offense for Farmington, and Tua Tagovailoa calls it for the Fremont Silverwolves. As it's a fresh set of downs at the 36. Hands off. And that's to their back. He gets a very minimal gain. Looks like a gain of 2. Trying to get the number on that running back. He's around too many of his offensive linemen right now.
Nice job by the defensive line up front for Farmington. They're in a 30 front or an odd front where they've got a nose guard, 2 defensive ends, and then typically they'll bring up at least 1 linebacker, maybe 2.
Here's Tua Tagovailoa, drops back to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to get sacked. Farmington gets it deep. He's not able to get out of that one. And it looks like that's number 31, Troy Stevens, on the initial tackle.
Good job. He came off the edge. They brought 5 that time. Farmington did. He got home, and Tua Tagovailoa didn't have anywhere to go. So it brings up 3rd and long, and there really aren't very many 3rd and 25 plays in your playbook.
Definitely not. So we'll see if they'll just run the ball and live to play another drive.
Maybe a little draw or a screen play here, especially into this wind. It's going to be hard to put it up deep.
Owen Simpkins in the backfield with Tua Tagovailoa. He drops back. They're going to try and get it all. They go out to Simpkins. He gets to the 26-yard line, and he's down, and obviously will not be enough. But after talking to Coach Tua Tagovailoa, he said they are aggressive, going for it on 4th down in their own territory. But I think when it's that far away from the sticks, he's obviously playing it smart and going for the punt.
It's a good play call. Again, it's tough to do anything in that situation when you've got 3rd and 30. Jet Salmon does a nice job coming up and making that play in the open field on Simpkins.
You ever have a 3rd and 25 play call on your sheet?
Draw or screen typically, or hopefully throw it up and get a pass interference.
There you go. Punting away. Here is Casey Pearson, and I believe that's Hoops who has it, and it is. And he gets almost to midfield. And that's a little return there, and a fairly decent punt for Fremont. But now we'll get a look at this Farmington offense, which is centered around running back and Mr. Do-It-All, Travis Hoops.
Yeah, Travis Hoops is really a great player. They're going to lean on him heavily. They've got the wind at their back in this first quarter. We'll see if they stick to their ground game, which is their bread and butter, or if they decide to put it up.
Here in the pistol is quarterback Will Peterson. Oh, that is not Peterson. That's Josh Webb at quarterback.
Good job there by Fremont. They loaded up the box that time, had 3 defensive backs was all. Didn't pick up any yards on first down.
So Josh Webb is playing quarterback for the Phoenix. And the first down play is marked. It's called incomplete. Almost picked off. And Drew Love is in the backfield talking to Coach Coates, he said that the other running back, Lucas Peterson, is out for this game with an injury, as Love will get it up the middle, and he'll get to midfield and then some, and then his jersey gets pulled right as he's about to cross the 50-yard line.
That's a really strong run right there. He kept his legs moving, bounced off the first tackler. It took at least 3 guys to get him down. Masters is one of the best defensive players on the field for Fremont. We'll call his name a lot tonight, I'm sure.
Now we're at 3rd and 5 at the Fremont 49-yard line. Webb has a single back with him in the shotgun. He'll drop back. He'll fire to his running back. Love has it at the 45, and he leaps past the first down marker, and he will get the first down, so move the sticks for the Phoenix.
Again, another great job breaking a tackle because he was hit short of the line to gain. Anytime you've got a back that picks up yards after contact, especially at this level, you're in good shape.
So a fresh set of downs at the 44-yard line. Webb back in the pistol. Had a man jump. We'll see who flinched first.
I always love that play as an offensive coordinator. Get the guys to jump. If you can get 2 or 3 of those a game, that's a win. And that's scouting right there. I'm sure Coach Coates has coached his kids up that they're going to be aggressive up front. They're going to come hard. Let's pick up 5 cheap ones anytime we can. I expect we'll probably see Hoops get the ball right here.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's lined up behind Webb in the pistol. He'll hand off to Hoops, just as you called it, and he'll get up to the 30-yard line. And really, it looked like he wasn't going to be able to go anywhere, and he's able to pick up the first down with ease.
He did a nice job. He looked like a wide zone play where they teach you to cut up the field. Inside zone, they're teaching you to cut back, and he did a nice job, put his foot in the dirt, got upfield, picked up another first down for Farmington.
So he's able to get to the 29-yard line as they make some substitutions. Hoops is in the backfield for Farmington.
Farmington does a lot of check with me, so they'll fake snap, look to the sideline. Coach Coates will give them a new play.
As we are under 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter, Hoops will get the ball. He gets to the 25, down to the 20, and then some. They're going to mark him down at the 18-yard line, and the Phoenix are now in the red zone.
Really good job of just taking what the defense gives you. That time, again, Fremont's back in more of a pass coverage type of a set. Offensive line up front for Farmington just moves that offensive line, and you've got a running back like Hoops. He's going to pick up yards every time with that kind of push.
So first down at the 18. A bunch set. Looks like he's got trips to his left. Is Webb. Changes the line, changes the call, just as you alluded to earlier. Hands off to Hoops, and he just powers his way forward, and they give him a gain of 2 at the 16-yard line.
Again, yards after contact. He was hit in the backfield. Fremont came off the edge, hit him in the backfield. He broke the first tackle, spun off the second, and fell forward, and that's a sign of a great running back. If you can fall forward after contact.
And already changing the play, or at least talking to his offensive line, is Webb. Josh Webb, he'll hand off to Love, and he'll get just a couple more yards. They're just chipping away as they get closer to the end zone, Dave.
Yeah, anytime you can pick up 3 or 4 yards a carry, you're winning on offense.
So that now brings up 3rd down and 4 from the Fremont 13-yard line.
I expect you're going to see some pressure from Fremont. Typically you get inside the red zone like this, you're going to get a lot of people at line of scrimmage.
Love drops back, swinging. Oh, deflected right there. That's number 33.
Drew Hassel.
Hassel, he probably could have picked that off, but I think he was more worried about just batting that down and now forcing Farmington to kick a field goal.
It's a good thing that he got to that because there was nobody on Love out of the backfield. He would have walked into the end zone.
There also was, had he picked that off, we could have had a big man touchdown.
Yeah.
on the other way, which is an offensive coordinator's nightmare, I'm sure. So back to kick is Jackson Bainan. And, could we have a rough in the kicker? He did get hit. The field goal is good. We'll see what they call here, because if it's running into the kicker, I think either way, because it was 3rd and 4.
I think either way, you're going to take.
I'm pretty sure we have first down.
Penalty.
If it's roughing the kicker, it's an automatic first down. But if it's running into the kicker, that's a 5-yard penalty. Because Bainan got hit as he booted the ball away.
Looked like Moa came off the edge and kind of got chipped a little bit and lost his balance. Went into the kicker for that penalty.
Yep, and it is running into the kicker, I'm guessing, because they didn't do the personal foul motion. So take off the field goal, and now it brings up a first down for the Phoenix.
Looks like Coach Coates called for his heavy package, so I would expect they're going to try and just pound it in. As
only a former NFL tight end would do.
Yeah.
With 5:04 to go here in the first quarter.
See if Fremont can come up with a big play defensively. They've still got 3 points on the board, but it scores 0-0.
Yeah. Over here at the stadium, it's they did change it now. So 5:04 to go. Now here's Webb. He's got hoops in the backfield. He's in the pistol. He's got one wide up and up at the top. And here's Hoops. He stumbles a little bit and then cuts back to his left, and he's getting into the end zone. Touchdown, Travis Hoops. And the Phoenix strike first.
What a fantastic move. They ran inside zone right. The hole was plugged. Stutter step, made a move, got to the outside into the end zone. That's a great first series for Farmington.
Well, he looked like he was about to fall down, just kind of like slip or stumble or whatever. Is able to find his balance and then cuts it to the outside and for a touchdown.
Hoops has really got some great characteristics, great balance, great vision, and he breaks tackles.
And the PAT is good, so with 5:02 to go, Farmington has a 7-0 lead over Fremont. So, Coach, as we now see what happened on that drive, of what could have been a field goal, then running into the kicker turns into a touchdown.
A lot of times penalties are going to hurt your defense. If you're giving up first downs, that, especially after your defense makes a stop on 3rd down to bring up 4th down, and then you get a penalty like that, that's tough to overcome. But
yeah, Travis Hoops had 3 touchdowns last week in their win over Davis, which was a 28-20 win at Davis, which was just really impressive. He had a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and then he had 2 rushing touchdowns on top of that. And as Coach Coates told us before the game, he does it all.
Yeah, he's a ball player for sure. Anytime you've got a strong wind in your face like Fremont has, you want to just run that clock and get that wind at your back. And so we'll see what Fremont does offensively, if they come out throwing, if they look to run the ball a little bit more this second series.
Jackson Bainan back to kickoff, but the wind blows the ball off the tee. Might have that issue tonight a few times.
He kicked the first kickoff out the back of the end zone. I would expect you're going to see the same thing here.
Kid's got a leg. And does the same thing and almost the exact spot. As we now see the Fremont offense come out, they were forced to punt after getting sacked on 2nd down, which brought up a 3rd and very, very, very long. So what changes, if any, do you make if you're Fremont?
Well, really it's about the guys up front. The offensive line, they've got to get a better push this second series. Get ahead of the chain, see if they can't get a couple of first downs, run this clock out a little bit against the wind.
Here's Tua Tagovailoa. He hands off. And it looks like that is Hadley
Little GT counter there. They did a nice job kicking that down block and kicking the linebacker out.
Changing the play at the line of scrimmage is Tua Tagovailoa. And he has Cade Hadley in the backfield with him. He'll drop back, he'll look over, finds his man. That's number 3, but he's stopped at the 25-yard line. That is Chase Hadley.
Really good job there. Manasseh looked to his left. It was covered. He was looking for Mo. It was covered. He came back all the way across the formation to this side. Farmington did a great job coming up and making a play on that in the open field.
So 3rd and 4, ball's at the 26-yard line. Sends Hadley in motion. Tua Tagovailoa runs up the middle. He's going to get the first down and more as he gets to the 35-yard line. A nice quarterback draw right there from Tua Tagovailoa.
What a great weapon to have in your arsenal when you've got a quarterback that can run the ball as well as Manasseh does. It really puts a lot of pressure on a defensive coordinator to try and figure out a way to stop that. Great job picking up the first down.
And they go a little more up-tempo as Tua Tagovailoa throws a little bit too high for Celeste Moa, and it goes incomplete. Brings up 2nd down.
I like the idea of getting the ball to your playmakers without making it too complicated. They're playing soft coverage 1st and 2nd down so far. Get the ball on a slant or a curl route, stop route, especially into the wind.
He hands off, and he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great gang tackle there as Hadley had the carry.
Afo-Fia did a great job coming off the edge. Hit him in the backfield, and they really had nowhere to go.
And that brings up another 3rd down. 5 yards to go, so they lost 1 yard on that play.
Call that a cat blitz anytime that corner comes. Bring the safety over the top. Tough for an offensive line to pick that up.
Tua Tagovailoa has trips to his left. Drops back. He's looking for his man. He's got Moa deep, and he just misses the catch barely. It was on his fingertips, and it goes incomplete, but that was almost near perfect throw.
Yeah, especially into the wind. He put that ball up high and dropped it right into the breadbasket, just barely out of the reach of Moa. I expect we're going to see that play again. If he got behind him that easily, I think we're seeing that again. Moa's not real happy that he missed the ball. I expect you're going to see him come back and make some plays.
Brings up another 4th down, and they will punt. From the 35-yard line. And the kick is away. And Hoops has it. He will call for a fair catch at the 31-yard line, which now brings out the Farmington offense, who is coming off of scoring a touchdown on their first drive.
Offensive line did a great job for Farmington on that first series. I expect that we're going to see Hoops run the ball until they can stop him.
So Webb gets the play call from Coach Coates, and he comes out to tell his offense. With 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter, with a Region 1 title on the line. Again, if Farmington wins, both of these teams will share the Region 1 title. If Fremont wins, they will have the outright Region 1 title.
A light box here, 5 in the box. It's a run box if I'm a coach.
And play action goes out to his wide receiver, but it's too low of a throw as it was intended for Gavin Burton.
Now they're a little bit behind the chains, but the way they've been running the ball, they've probably averaged 6-7 yards a carry. A couple of run plays will probably get them right back where they want to be. Big series defensively for Fremont right here.
Webb is alone in the gun. Drops back, fires, he's got a man at about the 37-yard line.
Empty formation, typically you're looking to go weak side, which is where the defense is more vulnerable in an empty formation. typically you're going to get your worst cover guy on the slot on the weak side of that. They did a good job just taking what Fremont gave them. Big 3rd down and 4 here.
Tanner Nielsen was on that catch for Farmington as it's now 3rd and 4. And it looks like a flag is out, and the play is dead as Hoops had the carry, but they didn't they already blew the play dead. Like, it seemed pretty late to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Farmington reacted to the 2 linebackers that were showing blitz from Fremont. Looks like that's what happened, so it brings up 3rd and long.
Here's 3rd and 9 with just over 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. In the pistol again is Webb. Bobbles the snap, drops back. He finds his man. It's Tanner Nielsen once again, but he is stopped at the line of scrimmage, it looks like. And it'll bring fourth down up.
Colford. Sat in the zone there. They ran a crossing route, which is typically a man beater. Ran right into the linebacker sitting, and good play defensively. Good stop there for Fremont. Now Fremont should get clock's running. They should get the ball back about a minute, run the rest of that clock off, and get the wind at their back for this next series.
And the punt by Bainan is away. And that's number 7.
Parks Benson with a pretty good return there for Fremont. They've got the ball, their best starting field position of the half. If I'm calling plays here, I'm going to run the ball, get the clock, run out at the quarter, flip the field so I've got the wind at my back.
That's a good observation there.
We used to play games down at Maple Mountain, and there's always wind down there. And you really had
the Windy City?
Yeah, you really had to play call based on the wind direction.
Yeah. So here's first down at their own 33-yard line is Fremont. Started out the season with 2 straight losses. Lost to Mountain Ridge and Roy. And then they've rattled off 7 straight wins.
They really started to believe in each other, and you can see the progression of how they've played, how much better they've played together as a team the longer the season's gone on. And again, Coach Tuatagaloa has done a fantastic job with these kids.
So the ball's at the 23-yard line instead. I guess there was a holding call on that punt return on Fremont, so that backs them up 10 yards.
You got no middle linebacker here.
Tuatagaloa has his man, but catches it as he's with his knee down, and that is Cameron Wolf on the catch. So pretty
Again,
much
Fremont,
at the line of scrimmage.
Fremont looking to get the ball out quick and the void in that defense where that weak side or the weak side corner is playing off. They're just trying to get the ball to the playmakers, but unable to do so there. Clock shouldn't be running.
Yeah, the clock. Well, he had his knee down, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. He did catch that. All right, we got an offsides on.
So Farmington now with another penalty, this time on defense. 35 seconds left, and the clock is running now. Well, it was. They've just moved it to 34, and that's it.
If they wind that clock,
now the clock's running.
I wouldn't run a play here.
Yeah, the play clock's at 31, so you wouldn't have to run a play here, but they're going to. 2nd and 5. Tuatagaloa back to pass. He's got a man at the 42-yard line, and that's Moa.
Boy, he throws a nice ball into the wind like that to get that to the sideline at 10 yards. Good play there for Fremont. First down at 47-yard line. And they're going quick.
Yeah, going no huddle or very little huddle.
He did say they like to play fast.
Well, when you have the speed that they do, here's Tua Tagovailoa. He's got Hadley at the 46-yard line, and they're going to mark him down right there with forward progress.
Nice little drive route there. Comes in like he's running a slant and then sits in the void in that zone defense. Farmington's playing almost a cover 4 look where they're just trying to keep Fremont in front of them.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Farmington with a 7-0 lead over Farmington. We'll be back after this here on KSLSports.com. Welcome back to Farmington High School. Trevor Allen, Dave Harrison here with you as we start the second quarter. Farmington with a 7-0 lead. And Coach, we've got so far a pretty good ball game, but it's been dominated by defense.
We kind of expected that coming in. Both of these defenses are pretty stout up front.
Tua Tagovailoa drops back.
Oh,
a little bit of a screen, and that goes out to Hadley. He gets to the 40, down to the 35, to the 30, and he's down at the 28-yard line. That is Cade Hadley.
What a great call. They brought 6, both outside linebackers off the edge. Tua Tagovailoa did a great job keeping his eyes downfield, selling the deep ball, hit it to his back out for a big gain on second down.
Now it's 1st and 10 at the Farmington 28-yard line. Great way to start the quarter if you're Fremont.
I love this. We got a quarterback like Tua Tagovailoa. Empty formation's a good look.
And 5 wide, he drops back. Fires, he's got number 20 down at the 15-yard line, and that is Owen Simpkins.
Good job there. He was patient. It looked to me like he had Moa in the seam. The safety flew over, and he just dropped it over the middle. Farmington missed a tackle, and another good pickup for Fremont. Yeah, when you've got a quarterback who can run and throw the ball, empty formation's a great option offensively.
Tua Tagovailoa, single back with him. And that is Simpkins with him. He's got Moa at the top of your screen. He's got 3 wide to the left.
Oh, he wasn't ready.
And there was a little bit of a miscommunication, and Tua Tagovailoa dives on it, and his dad's not happy.
No, there's nothing worse as a coach than watching the snap go past your quarterback and nobody's ready for it. So that puts him a little behind the chains. 2nd and 20.
So it looks like they mark him at the 25-yard line now.
You're trying to pick up 7, 8, 9 yards right here. You don't need to try and pick all of it up at once. If you've got man coverage and no safety help, Mo is up at the top side, but you've got 2 safeties.
Tua Tagovailoa drops back here on 2nd down. Fires it deep. He's got Moa in the end zone in the back, and just too much.
Fantastic catch. He just was a yard out of bounds.
The Fremont fans thought it was a touchdown, but yeah, I was going to say just a touch too much, but still a great catch.
You can see what an athlete. Moa's got a number of D1 offers already, and just a junior.
Tua Tagovailoa is too. So Fremont's going to be really good next year too. I mean, they're already really good now, but just imagine what they're going to be like as seniors.
Cover 2 man means there's nobody accounting for the quarterback.
Tua Tagovailoa on 3rd down and 21, drop back. He's going to keep it. He gets to the 20, down to the 15, runs out of bounds at about the 13-yard line, and there's a flag for a late hit out of bounds. That's going to be an easy 1st down and a really tough play if you're Farmington's defense.
Yeah, we saw the penalty on Fremont's defense that ended up turning into a Farmington touchdown. I love the fact that Tua Tagovailoa recognized cover 2 man. There's nobody on the quarterback. Take a 3-step drop, let everybody clear, and then take off.
So we'll get the call from our official. And yeah, personal foul, late hit. Oh, he pointed at Farmington, or at Fremont. I was like, wait a minute. He did correct himself. But then in that case, that's going to be half the distance, but it is an automatic 1st down. because he didn't get the first down. He was probably about another 5 or 6 yards short of the marker. But now with that penalty, brings up
4th and 3.
I thought that'd be a first down. The scoreboard here says 4th and 1. And they're going to go for it on 4th down. And Simpkins gets down at the 5.
They marked his knee down to the 5, so Farmington's defense holds.
So that's a turnover on downs. I'm a little confused, Dave. I thought that was isn't that an automatic first down if it's personal foul?
I thought it was going to be an automatic first down, and I wonder if Coach Tuatagaloa thought the same thing.
Well, either way, Farmington takes over on downs, and they're backed up at their own 6-yard line. So another stop from Farmington's defense.
We'll see if Fremont loads the box up to stop the run, because I imagine that Farmington's just going to try and pound it out of the own end zone. Yep.
And keeping it looks like that was Hoops in the backfield. A little wildcat action.
Good job there by Fremont defensively, not letting him get outside. You've got to really contain him because he's got a great cutback. Coach Moe's guys did a great job defensively, stayed with their run fits, didn't give him anywhere to cut that back.
So it brings up 2nd and 10, so there was no gain on that run from Hoops.
Empty formation.
Here's Webb back in. He'll look for off of Fia, but it goes too low, and it is incomplete. Brings up 3rd down.
Anytime you get the nose of the football down into the wind, it's going to go low just like that one did. Now they're 3rd and 10. They've almost got to throw the ball. They've got Hoops as slot. We'll see if Fremont dials up pressure, if they just play coverage.
So a back to his right, and that's Love, next to Webb. He'll go into his own end zone. He'll fire out to Burton, and he'll get to the 12-yard line, which is a 6-yard gain, but it won't be good enough for a first down.
Short of the first down, that's a big stop defensively there for Fremont. Should get the ball back in really good field position. The key here now is to field the ball cleanly. Anytime you've got this much wind, you're going to have a tough time anticipating where that ball's going to go. So
Paris Benson is back to receive. But the wind obviously caught that one as it rolls clear down. They punted it at their own 12, and it gets down to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, about a 22-yard punt.
But
Fremont's lucky that ball didn't hit them, because that ball just died and went straight down.
Today is a punter's nightmare or dream, depending on which way you're kicking.
Yeah, he had about a 55-yarder in the first quarter and a 22-yarder in the second quarter. It all depended on the wind.
So here comes Fremont's offense after turning it over on downs, deep in the red zone.
Farmington still showing cover 2.
Here's Tuatagaloa. He drops back, finds his man out in the flat, and that is John Suka as he's tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Jet Salmon, another great open field tackle for Farmington. Trying to isolate him with a back out of the backfield, and he's so far stepped up.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the Farmington 34-yard line. 8:21 to go here in the first half.
Showing double coverage on Moa, which means you're probably going to have single coverage on the far side.
Tuatagaloa hands off to his back, and he slips, and that's Hadley. That's Cade Hadley. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Troy Stevens did a great job. They ran again the guard counter pull, or guard tackle counter, and he just set the edge. He didn't get moved off his spot. Running back tripped over the feet of his guard, and good job there defensively for Farmington.
Brings up 3rd down and 10 now for the Silverwolves.
We've seen Tua Tagovailoa twice pick up 10-plus yards scrambling. We'll see what they come up with here on 3rd and 10.
He's in the shotgun, drops back. He's getting flushed over to his right. He's going to lob it over to Hadley, and he's going to get the first down and more as he gets down to the 22-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 21. But what an improvised play there from Tua Tagovailoa.
Really good job of avoiding the pressure first, and then once he breaks contain, he keeps his eyes downfield, finds his back out, picks up another first down. He's really done a good job on 3rd and long tonight.
So now at the 21-yard line is Fremont. Cade Hadley is in the backfield.
Looks like they're going to put a safety over the top of Moa, which means he's going to have somebody on this strong side open.
He goes to Hadley out into the flat, and he drops it. And it's ruled incomplete, but he would have been tackled at about the 20 or 19-yard line anyway.
Farmington's done a really good job. Their linebackers covering backs out of the backfield, which typically you don't see at this level. That's almost always a matchup problem for the defense. So far tonight, Farmington's answered the bell every time they come to the back out of the backfield.
Yeah, it's easier as you get through the year, right? Because you've actually got film on these teams.
Yeah, for sure. So this time they've got Moa as the number 3 receiver. So you got a safety or a linebacker on him.
Tua Tagovailoa drops back here on 2nd down. He fires deep. He's got Moa one-on-one. He tries to get a one-hand catch. Falls incomplete. Great coverage there by the Farmington DB.
And that time that ball just, the nose was up a little bit. It sailed on him with that wind behind him. Brings up another 3rd and 10, which so far tonight has been Tua Tagovailoa's down in distance.
Now is Carter Tingey actually the linebacker who was on Moa.
Yeah, and they got the matchup they wanted. They wanted a linebacker on him, and he ran that wheel route. He took a pretty good angle.
So 3rd and 10 at the 21-yard line in Farmington territory. Takes a snap, hands off to Cade Hadley. He's going to plow through. He's near the marker.
Really good call there. I don't think Farmington was expecting a run, whereas they've dropped back to pass every time they've had 3rd and long. They picked up 8. We'll see what they do. It looks like they're keeping the offense on the field.
Coach Tua Tagovailoa said he likes to be aggressive and go for it on 4th down because he trusts in his players.
I like spreading them out here and letting Manasseh run the ball. Well, they've got their power heavy set in.
Manasseh on 4th down. He runs out wide. He's able to get the first down as he goes out of bounds. Wait, that was number 2. That was Slade Parker, who also plays quarterback. But he's able to get the first down as the officials are now chatting. I think probably checking out the ball spot.
It almost looked like the ball came out. I couldn't see from here. It was the opposite side of the field.
It looks like they're going to measure. So that was actually Slade Parker. That wasn't Tua Tagovailoa, but that was just a straight design QB run. But Parker's done a great job this year. On the year he has 5 receiving touchdowns. He's also got a passing touchdown, so he can kind of do it all.
Fremont's loaded. They've got a lot of talented kids that can play ball in their skill positions. And we got a first down for Fremont.
And they do mark a first down. It was 4th and 1.
So the aggressiveness pays off there. Now we'll see if Fremont can get the ball in the end zone to pay it off.
So that's going to bring up 1st and goal. Actually, just outside of goal.
We'll see what look we get defensively from Farmington, if they're going to keep those 2 safeties back or if they're going to load the box now that they're down to the 10-yard line.
So they are able to get one more first down before having to go into the end zone, but that's at the 1-yard line.
They got man coverage up top.
Tua Tagovailoa Goes out to his wide receiver and is dropped while he's running, and that's Zach Masters.
It's a couple of times we've seen Tua Tagovailoa hit his receivers in the hands and just not able to control the ball.
Is there like too much zip on the ball, do you think?
He's got a really strong arm, and the wind behind him, you know, you can't really float it with the wind behind you, but they've been playing together all year, so you'd expect that those guys know that ball's coming. The receiver should have caught that.
Cade Hadley is to the left of Tua Tagovailoa. He's got Moa out wide. Drops back. Goes deep to and one-handed catch. What a grab, Celeste Moa, and that's a Fremont touchdown. Wow!
That's a superstar play right there. Moa just goes up with his left hand, pulls it in. What a great throw and catch by Fremont.
You also said it earlier after that drop on that deep ball. You actually said he went to the bench really upset, but he's going to come back and make plays, and he did just that.
What a fantastic answer for Fremont. See if they can't get this extra point to tie the game.
And the PAT is up, and it is good. So we are all tied up here at Farmington. We'll go ahead and take a quick 30-second timeout. Be back after this. Welcome back to Farmington High School. Trevor Allen, Dave Harrison here with you. And Dave, that was just a great drive for Fremont. Had to go for it on fourth down. Also, you know, just making key plays, but it ends with a one-handed catch from Celeste Moa.
Yeah, you just let your superstars win games for you. And I like the way Coach Tua Tagovailoa is putting Moa in positions where he can either get a mismatch with a linebacker or a safety, or he gets man cover when you get down by the goal line. And, you know, you just feed your studs, and that's a great offensive philosophy.
Here's the kickoff. As Afu Fia is just going to let that one. That one didn't go into the back of the end zone the way that it does for Farmington, but that was still a pretty good kick. But, again, the wind is whipping at their backs.
I expect we're going to see Farmington run the football. Hoops is such a great player. They're going to do the same thing, I think, that Fremont did, and just give your best player the ball. Farmington didn't throw it really well into the wind that first series they had, so see what we get defensively out of Fremont if they load the box up and force them to throw. Six-man box.
Here's Webb.
Cover.
He'll hand off to Drew Love, and he'll get about 3 or 4 yards. That was a solid. Oh, they're going to give him 6.
A really good job up front.
Was able
by
to get
Farmington.
a good push.
Yeah, really good job on that. Just an inside zone where you're just looking for a cutback lane. Good push up front.
So 3 of Farmington's 4 wins came in region play. They're 3-1 in region, but it was a really tough non-region schedule. We'll go over that here in just after this play. As Webb on 2nd and 5. It looks like a counter to Drew Love, and he'll get a first down and more as he gets down at about the 38-yard line. What a run right there by Drew Love.
Yeah, I really like the play call. We haven't seen a counter yet out of Farmington. They've basically just been running downhill, strong side. Nice little cutback. Good job up front again by Farmington. Now we've got Hoops in the backfield.
As I was mentioning on that non-region schedule, losses to Roy, Bountiful, Orem, and Corner Canyon.
Those are powerhouse football programs.
That's a stacked non-region schedule for Farmington. And it looks like the counterplay bobbled, and it looks like couldn't get a clean handoff to Travis Hoops, and that's going to be a loss of yards.
It went back to the exact same play that they just had run with Love. They tried to get the ball to Hoops there. Didn't work out. Mishandled. Now they're behind the chains, 2nd and 15.
And then they ended up rounding out their non-region play with a win against Mountain Ridge, which was very big for this program.
I watched that game this week, and Mountain Ridge is a good football program, too.
Here's Webb, dropping back. He's got Fia out on the flat. He spins, and before he's met, he tried to create something there, but just too many Fremont defenders.
Yeah, they rallied really nice that time. Fremont did to the ball. didn't let Fiafia. He did break 2 tackles, but they didn't let him advance. So again, now they're behind the chains, 3rd and 14 into the wind.
4 minutes to go till halftime. 3rd and 14 at their own 34-yard line as Coach Coates gives Josh Webb the play call. In the pistol, he drops back. Throws it, just throws it behind Gavin Burton, and it goes incomplete. And Farmington's going to punt.
And again, they're punting into the wind. Fremont's got to be careful that ball doesn't come down and hit one of their blockers, but good job defensively there by Fremont. They've got a little momentum, and they've got Celeste Moa back to receive. I would not kick the ball to him.
No, I would not. And it looks like he's trying to get away from him and calling out poison. As that has a good roll. Well, the wind just died down a little bit, at least where we're at. I mean, we're higher up than they are. We're at the top of the press box. But that goes all the way down to, they're going to mark that at the 21.
The ideal situation here for Fremont would be move the ball all the way down the field, run the clock out, go into the half with a lead. Of course, knowing Coach Tuatagaloa, who I coached a long time ago, he's probably going to try and score quick and then get the ball back and score again.
He's definitely going to try and do that, I would imagine, because Farmington is going to get the ball to start the half. Tuatagaloa finds Moa at the 20, spins and just can't get around the corner. And that is Tanner Nielsen, who was on that tackle.
Really good open field tackle. We've seen Moa make guys miss already tonight. Good open field play there. But again, they're trying to get Moa the ball any way they can and let him make plays. Farmington, on the other hand, has got to find a way to keep him bottled up.
Simpkins is in the backfield with Tuatagaloa. Moa alone at the bottom of your screen. Drops back. He's looking. Looks over the middle, and he's got a man at the 40. And that is number 6. That's Zach Masters.
Really good throw there by Manasseh Tuatagaloa. Little bend route there by 6.
And that will move the Sticks. 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. 2:25 to go in the half.
Tuatagaloa really has made a lot of varied throws. He's thrown across the middle. He's thrown the ball over the top deep. He's thrown the ball out of the backfield. He's thrown the ball on the run.
And that was a great read by that edge rusher as they hand off to Simpkins, and he's still able to get yardage. And it looks like he's going to get about a 4-yard gain. And they're going to mark him down at the 46, so 2nd down and 6. But something else, Dave, that people probably don't know unless you've watched Fremont a lot is Tuatagaloa. He also plays D-end on defense. Obviously not as much as he plays quarterback. After talking to a coach, he said that he tries to limit him to 20 snaps on defense.
Man, that's a scary thing, having your quarterback play defensive end. I don't know that I would.
Tuatagaloa drops back. Oh, pump fakes, spins out. Well, what a move. And then he goes past the defender, but then he grabs his ankle and takes him down for a sack. And that's number 41. That's Cash Taylor.
Timeout by Fremont. They're going to try and find a way to get a 1st down here. They've got probably 3rd and 13. Really fantastic open field tackle. It looked to me like Tuatagaloa, he made one guy miss. I thought he was going to make the second one miss, and then had that happen, he had a ton of room to run.
So a timeout. We'll keep it right here. We've got 1:21 to go. At what point, Dave, do you say, okay, we're just going to run out the clock and go into the locker room? What like time point and where you're at as far as field position?
Well, I think it depends a lot on game situation. Whereas they've got the wind at their back, and Farmington struggled every time they've had the ball into the wind, I think I'm going to try and get a first down however I can here. Now, if I'm Farmington, I get the ball back, I'm probably running it out.
Yeah. Farmington will get the ball to start the second half. But a tight game so far. 7-7 is our score. Minute 21 to go. 2 timeouts left for Fremont, and Farmington has all 3 timeouts. In the gun is Tuatagaloa. He drops back, immediately fires to Masters, and he's got the first down, and he takes a little bit to get down. He was really getting that last-ditch effort, but they go into Farmington territory and is able to pick up a first down.
Tuatagaloa did a great job of throwing to the blitz side. So anytime that a linebacker comes from your right, you're looking for that receiver off that right side. He did a nice job finding the seam.
Tuatagaloa drops back again, and it looks like there's going to be a hold as Simpkins gets to the 40, down to the 35, and upended at about the 32-yard line. There's another flag. I'm guessing the one over here at the 49-yard line is probably holding, but we're going to find out what's this back end and maybe if they offset.
It looked like he may have had a block in the back downfield.
Yeah, because that left tackle had a lot of work in front of him for Fremont as the official comes out now to make the call. Looks like legal blindside block is that this?
Yeah.
So on Fremont, both are on Fremont. So
you're going to have a 1st and 20, it looks like, for Fremont. Well, okay, yeah, they're walking it off.
Are you still staying aggressive with 48 seconds
sure.
and 2 timeouts?
For sure, and especially as hard as Farmington's dropping their DBs, you're going to find something in the seam or underneath in the middle. You've still got 2 timeouts if you're Fremont, so I know Coach Nate's going for this.
44 seconds, the clock is running. Tuatagaloa, 1st and 20 at their own 43. He drops back and he's looking, and he is going to get sacked at the 30-yard line. I believe that's number 37 who was on that sack. Oh, no, 31. That is Troy Stevens. He's had himself a day.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. He's made a couple of plays in the backfield on Tuatagaloa that if he doesn't make those plays, something big happens for Fremont. So Farmington now takes a timeout, which tells me that they think they're going to get the ball back and try and score. Now, here's probably the point where maybe you try something short through the middle. If you pick up a bunch of yards, you call your timeout if you're Fremont and then try and take a shot into the end zone. But
it brings up 2nd and 32. The first down marker is at the Farmington 47-yard line, and they're back at their own 32. It's 2nd and 32 here for the Silverwolves. You don't have a 2nd and 32 on your play sheet, right?
Screen or draw.
Exactly.
And, you know, Farmington's been pretty aggressive with the blitz pressure. Twice they've given up big yards on screenplays, so we'll see what they dial in. It looks like they're bringing pressure again. 29
seconds to go in the half. He drops back, is Tuatagaloa. Pressured once again, and he's sacked once again, this time at the 28-yard line. And that is number 21 for Farmington. That's Jet Salmon.
And he leads Farmington in sacks this year. He's aggressive off that edge. Just does a really fantastic job. Now it looks like Farmington called another timeout.
Yeah, it's showing that they have 2 left. But that brings up 3rd and 34. in what seems like a mile long. Again, the chain gang is clear up here at midfield when the ball marker is clear back in the deep in Fremont territory. And there was a holding call on Fremont as well, but Coach Coates decided to decline that penalty. Probably to bring up third down, right?
Yeah, there's only 19 seconds left in the half. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fremont keep the ball on the ground and force Farmington to use their last timeout. Actually, it shows they've got 2.
Yeah, they do have 2 timeouts, so they've only called 1. 19 seconds left. The clock is stopped. Tua Tagovailoa is in the gun. Once again, bringing some more pressure is Farmington. He spins around it. He'll look deep. He's got a man. And he's not going out of bounds. I thought he would. That's number 2, Slade Parker. And that
should force a punt by Fremont here. Probably not enough time to do anything if you're Farmington.
Are you telling them to go out of bounds, though, or are you trying to tell them, hey, let's just chew up the clock when it's 30-plus yards to the first down?
I wanted to yell down to him to stay in bounds so that the clock runs out. But kids that have an aggressive mindset, they're thinking, stop the clock, get out of bounds, and we'll see. They're going for it here.
4th and 17 with 8 seconds left. Maybe this play will last 8 seconds. We'll see. Here's Tua Tagovailoa. He's looking deep. He's throwing a prayer, and it is incomplete.
Time runs out.
And that runs out of time, so that was an 8-second play right there, Coach. So at halftime, it's 7-7. Coach, thoughts as we go into the break?
Well, this is exactly kind of what we thought it was going to be, a heavyweight match. It's going to be one in the trenches. Farmington really started out strong offensively. Fremont answered. Both offenses were successful with the wind at their back, so I expect the second half we're going to see a lot of that same result.
So at the half, we are all tied up at 7 with the Region 1 title on the line. We'll be back with second half action in a little bit here on KSL Sports. Trevor Allen, Dave Harrison here with you. Just about to start the second half. And, Coach, in order for anyone to win in this game, what do Farmington or Fremont need to do to come away with the win?
I think Farmington has to rely heavily on hoops and the run. That's what they had the most success with in the first half. And defensively, Fremont struggled a little bit against the run. For Fremont, they just need to keep getting their studs the ball and taking what Farmington's giving them, because they're giving them, there's some holes in that defense. If they just keep taking what they're given, I think that bodes well for Fremont.
So Farmington's gonna start the second half with the ball. Their lone touchdown. I'm trying to remember who scored that touchdown.
Wasn't it Hoops?
It was, it was Hoops. That's right, because we were talking about how he came off a great game last week, which he had 3 touchdowns last week. One of them was a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown as Farmington went and stunned Davis at Davis.
Interesting that Fremont chose the wind in the third quarter at their back versus in the fourth quarter.
Here's Josh Webb. He hands off. I believe that's to Drew Love. Or is that to Hoops? I didn't catch his number before.
Pretty good pickup of 4 yards on first down.
That was Hoops. And someone that you've mentioned throughout the broadcast is that Travis Hoops needs to get involved, but it seems like you got to do it in a little bit different way than just running up the middle, right?
Yeah. Well, and they did try and get him the ball on that counter in the second quarter, ended up as a fumble. So we'll see if they keep giving the ball to him.
Sends a man in motion. Webb hands off to Hoops once again, goes up the middle and is stopped once again.
I would imagine that Fremont at the half talked about making sure and stop Hoops on the run, because he's going to be the key for Farmington to be successful.
I just got to say, Coach, the people here at Farmington are very gracious.
Yeah, fantastic. They brought us drinks all the way up on top. They brought us shirts. Really happy with the reception we've got here.
Here's Webb on 3rd and 4. Big third down here already. He rolls out to his right. He's looking. Throws a dart to Afufia. We'll see if they do mark him down with a catch, and that looks like it's going to be a first down.
He threw a dart right there. He was sitting in a zone coverage, put the ball in the only spot he could, which was low and away. Nice catch there by Farmington. Good way to start the second half.
And that'll move the chains here for the Phoenix.
Fia made a really nice play on the ball there.
Someone who I thought would maybe have their number called a little bit more was Afufia.
Yeah, I did as well. Watching film this week, I thought he'd get the ball a little bit more, but.
And Drew Love has the ball, and he finds an opening, and he gets to the 45-yard line before he has two defenders pulling on his jersey, and he's down at the 47-yard line. What a run by Drew Love.
Really good job there up front by Farmington. They just ran an inside zone. He found the cutback lane, got up. Really good start for Farmington. We'll see if they just keep pounding the ball, especially going into the wind.
Just under 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Was about to take a snap and looks over at the coach, Coach Coates, who's also the offensive coordinator. He'll hand off to Drew Love once again. He finds another opening. He's at the 40, to the 35, down to the 30, and they'll mark him down at the 28-yard line. Back-to-back great runs by Drew Love.
Yeah, that time, inside zone left. They got really good push up front by Farmington's front five. We've got a penalty flag on the field. I'm not sure if it was a tackle around the head and they're going to get a 15-yarder tacked on to the end of that run.
We'll see what the call is. Here comes the white hat. Personal foul, face mask.
So Braxton caught him, the left guard for Farmington. Just absolutely beat his guy off the ball that time. And I expect they're going to just keep running the ball. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Especially from Drew Love. That was somebody Coach Coates said, because Lucas Peterson, who's another stud running back for this Farmington team, he's injured. So first down at the 14-yard line. Hands off to Hoops. Cuts back to his left before he's tackled. He'll probably get about a gain of, I'd say, maybe 1 or 2.
That's
we'll see where they mark him.
A little better job defensively. Bubba Colford for Fremont did a nice job making that initial contact.
They say no gain. He was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now Drew Love's in the backfield. He had 2 back-to-back great runs that has led Farmington here into the 12-yard line. They gave him 2, actually. Here's Hoops out in the flat to the 10, down to the 5, and he's going to get tackled out of bounds, and another flag is thrown. I wonder if maybe another face mask or...
I think we've got a hold on the receiver.
Okay.
Tough to tell from here.
Yeah, it's on the far end of where we're at. But Travis Hoops getting involved early. Personal foul, another face mask. That's tough as a defense. You're already giving up 2 big plays, and then to have it be added on by 2 face mask penalties in the last 4 plays.
Really good job of getting him the ball in space. Once Hoops is out there one-on-one, and Fremont was in a cover 0 where they had man, they loaded the box to stop the run. They got Hoops out in the flat. Good play call there by Coach Coates.
Oh, and the football landed in the end zone. Or something. That's not a football. That's something else.
Somebody's hat blew onto the field.
I mean, it happens. I chose to not wear a hat tonight for that reason. Here's Webb. Looks at Webb, and he's got, or not Webb, he looks at Hoops and another touchdown. That's number 2 on the night and number 5 in the last 2 games.
He really, really had a good series there. Coach Coates called a really good series. And anytime you can get your guy out in space like that, you're going to win. Now, that almost got picked off.
Yeah, that that was probably a step away from getting picked off.
A little surprised that after marching the ball down the field, running it, that they threw the ball once they got inside the 10.
And the kick is up and good by Jackson Bainan, and that gives the Phoenix a 14-7 lead with 8:13 to go. We'll be right back after this here on KSLSports.com. High school, Trevor Allen, Dave Harris here with you. And, Coach, that was of what the doctor ordered for Farmington.
Yeah, I imagine that when they went into the half, they said, we've got to run the ball starting the second half, and they needed to get a touchdown. And that's a big touchdown because it's into the wind, and, well, it may not seem like a big deal. As a coach, especially if you're Fremont, you've got some pressure on you now. You've got to score with the wind at your back, especially as much as you throw the ball. So a little bit of pressure here on Fremont to answer.
But what a couple of games for Travis Hoops, as Fremont will take the ball out at the 5-yard line, and they're going to pitch it around to Simpkins. And a flag is thrown. I'm going to guess a hold on Fremont.
Blocking the back.
Or blocking the back.
Yep. They ran a little reverse. The first time we've seen a kick returned by Fremont, because every other time that they've returned the ball or been on kickoff return, the ball's been kicked out of the back of the end zone.
But it's actually been, they've always been kicking off north.
Yeah, they've been kicking with the wind. So Fremont's going to start the ball deep in their own territory, probably around their 7-yard line. Oh, they waved it off.
Oh, okay.
It was a little bit ticky-tacky. I saw it was on 20, but it didn't look like he really touched him.
Yeah, you don't really want to get ticky-tacky at this point. I mean, I get it if it's for like a game winner or something like that, but I can see just letting it play out. Here's Tua Tagovailoa for the first series of the second half, and it looked like it was going to be an option, and he just decided to keep it and go up the middle.
Designed run there by the quarterback. Good job by the interior of the defensive line for Farmington. Stayed with it, stayed in their own fits, and made a nice play.
He gained 1 on that play. At their own 16 now, it's 2nd and 9 for Tua Tagovailoa.
Really, really good job because there's only 5 men in the box.
He looks for his man, Celeste Moa. He's got it past the 20 and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Looks like they'll probably actually mark him down at the 24.
About a yard short of the first down.
Which brings up 3rd and 1.
Or 2.
And it looks like they're going to go up-tempo. Trying to catch him off. And now he looks back over at the sideline.
They ID'd 12 as a blitzer.
And he looks to Hadley, and he gets the first down. That's Cade Hadley.
Great job of breaking a tackle. He was short of the first down marker, ran through the first tackler, picked up that first down. So it's a big first down for Fremont.
That'll move the sticks. A 2-yard gain. 1st and 10 for the Silverwolves. Drops back, he looks, he's got Jace Hadley, overthrows him, and it goes incomplete.
A little bit of a different look up front to start the second half for Farmington. They're more in a 3-3 stack defense, which is really effective when you've got a team that likes to pull a guard or a tackle. It's tough to ID which linebacker's blitzing, but almost always when you get that kind of a defense, you're going to have at least one of the backers come, if not 2.
7:13 to go here in the third quarter. Fremont trying to win an outright Region 1 title. It'd be their first since joining the 6A classification. Handoff to Hadley. He'll gain a couple. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Another nice job by the Phoenix defense.
Gained 3 yards on that play.
Jet Salmon just keeps making plays for Farmington.
Critical third down here for Fremont. Drops back, it's Tua Tagovailoa. He's looking, rolling out to his right.
All sorts of time.
He's trying to look again now. He's telling him to go further. He's got Moa and almost caught with a one-handed once again. And that goes out of bounds, incomplete, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Again, the wind, the ball just kind of gets up and floats, and that wind pushed it out of bounds. It looked to me like when he threw the ball that he had Moa, but again.
So 4th and 7. So far, the playmakers who we thought would make plays today have been making plays for both of these teams, with Moa scoring the lone touchdown for Fremont on a one-handed grab at that, and then Travis Hoops with 2 touchdowns on the night for Farmington.
Can't say enough about Jet Salmon defensively for Farmington.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. So is
great kick.
So is Troy Stevens. Again, the wind playing a factor. That rolls all the way down. That looked like a college football or an NFL punt right there with the wind.
That was about 70 yards in the air. We one time played a semi-pro game in Burley, Idaho, and the wind was blowing like this. And our kicker kicked it from the back of the end zone all the way out the back of the other end zone.
Oh, my goodness.
It just got one of those roll end-over-end kicks, and it just kept going and going and going.
That's awesome. So 1st and 10 now at their own 16-yard line for Farmington. The senior Josh Webb sends Hoops in motion and then sends him back.
Zone defense. Again, running
goes to True Love.
Inside zone that time. Fremont does a nice job making a stop there. And they have to stop the run game for Farmington and get the ball back and try and get in the end zone before this end of this third quarter.
It's something that Coach Coates says is their identity is running the ball.
And with the backs that they've got and the offensive line, that's a pretty good identity to have.
So 2nd and 7, gain 3 on that play was Drew Love. And they're going to go back to Love once again as they fake the jet sweep to Hoops. And they'll probably gain about another 2 or 3 yards on that play. Had a nice little push at the end of that run.
I like their clock management here. They're taking their time, running as much time as they can off of this third quarter clock so they can get that wind out of their face.
Third down and 4. Alone in the backfield is Webb. He's looking to his left. He's got a man. Great coverage there. We'll see if they throw the flag.
No flag. So typically when an offense goes into an empty set, they started with a bunch formation to the right. They motion the back out to the right. You're trying to isolate the backside receiver. And typically you're going to put your best guy over there. That's what Farmington did, and they just about got what they were looking for.
Orion Patton was on that coverage for Fremont. As now it's 4th and 4, and they'll punt it away. Into the wind, although the wind died down just for a second, but then it picks up again, as you can tell, as it just dropped at the 50. It looked like it was going to settle a little bit, and then the wind picks up again, and it just drops.
So that series, even though offensively Fremont didn't do anything, because of the wind and the punt differential, they picked up about 35 yards. Big 3 and out by the Fremont defense that time.
And now their offense will try and even things up here as they're down by a touchdown with 4:50 to go here in the third quarter. And they are at their own 47-yard line, so near midfield. And there was a hold on Fremont. Again, it seems like on special teams they've been called for that probably 3 times tonight already.
Yeah, that's tough, especially when the ball isn't fielded and it's not returned and you still got to get a 10-yard penalty. Still pretty good field position here.
First and 10 at their own 37-yard line is Fremont. In the gun is Tua Tagovailoa. Drops back, looks, he's got Simpkins at the 39-yard line, and he'll dive down to the 40.
Nice catch by Simpkins there. Again, back out of the backfield, trying to isolate him on a linebacker. Linebacker makes a nice play there. But net positive, that's a good start to the series.
Gain of 3 to the 40 as the clock's running, as we hit 4:20 to go here in the third. And Tua Tagovailoa, he's got 2 wide at the bottom and the top of your screen.
Corner blitz.
And just as that happens, he goes deep. He's looking for Moa over, or not Moa. That looks like Hadley. That is Jace Hadley, and overthrows his wide receiver for an incomplete pass.
We played Farmington a few years ago in the playoffs, and nobody blitzes their corners more than Farmington. That's the 4th time we've seen it tonight. The first time that we've seen it picked up, Simpkins did a nice job coming across the formation to pick up that blitz. You need to throw to that blitz side, though, to take advantage of that.
How key is it to have a running back who can pick up a blitz, especially at this level?
It makes all the difference in the world. In fact, that a lot of times that takes an average team to a good team.
3rd and 7. And Tua Tagovailoa is going to go down again. I think that's either the 3rd or 4th sack of the night, and Jet Salmon is in the middle of it all.
He's having himself a game. But again, Fremont's going to be forced to punt with the wind at their back. Farmington steps up defensively, and Jet Salmon making plays every single series, and especially on 3rd down. I think that's probably the 3rd one on 3rd down.
Farmington looking for their 4th straight win and their 5th in their last 7.
Farmington needs to back up their returners.
They'll punt it away.
Off the side of his foot, it looked like.
Off of Fia's letting it roll down to the 20, and it'll get a nice bounce down to the 18-yard line, make it 19-yard line. So still plenty of field and in a really good position to put Fremont's defense.
And we'll see if Fremont can come up with another stop. Farmington came out that first series and just hammered the ball down the field, running inside zone. Second series, Fremont did a much better job of stopping the run game. We'll see what happens here if we see any play action out of Farmington, or if they just try and run the rest of this clock out for this 3rd quarter and get the wind at their back to start the 4th.
3:06 to go here in the 3rd. Webb with trips to the right. He'll look to Hoops, and he overthrew that one, but he picks it up anyway because it was a backwards pass.
Yeah, that was a lateral, and
really good awareness.
It was a good job by Hoops, because a lot of times you'll see kids just give up on it, put their hands in the air. Had he not recovered that, they're in trouble. Fremont that time had 4 defenders over 3. They still threw into that coverage. Good job defensively from a schematic standpoint that time by Coach Moa.
Here's Webb. Drops back. He's looking once again. He rolls out to his left. He's got Hoops. He gets to the 25, to the 30, and pushed out of bounds at the 30. And that's a gain of 15 on the play.
Hoops trying a little whip route where he starts, runs a 7-yard slant, stops, releases back to the sideline. The eyes of the DBs were in the backfield, and he was standing there wide open. That's about the first completion we've seen Farmington make into the wind.
Are you shocked that they're throwing as much as they have on this series going against the wind, especially when they have the lead late in the 3rd?
A little bit, but, they've set it up, and I'm sure Fremont's thinking the same thing we are. They've got to run the ball. So pretty good job there of executing that play.
Here's Hoops, but they'll give it to Drew Love. He gets to the 35 and almost got blasted, was able to get past that tackle. My goodness.
Moa came up, put a hammer
came
on
like
him.
a rocket.
Moa's got that body language now that he knows I've got to start making plays, whether it's on offense or on defense. So we'll see.
Moa has that Moa blood in him, which is a tough kid. He's got two brothers playing college football right now, and his dad was pretty dang good himself back in his day.
Ben was the first one to ever throw the jump pass.
Yep, for the Utes. Under Urban Meyer. Sheds a tackle as Drew Love. And he gets down to the 38-yard line. I believe that was against Air Force. Was that who that was against?
I can't remember exactly who it was, but we put that in when I was an offensive coordinator for a team that Ben was my tight end, and he definitely wanted to put that play in. Hey, we've got
I told Urban, hey, I could do that too.
3rd and 1 for Farmington.
Another big down.
Taking their time again, running clock.
35 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Webb, hands off to Love once again. And that'll bring up a 1st down. And will likely be the last play of the quarter.
Yeah, really good job, Coach Coates. Game management. I think he's looking at the clock and he's just telling his guys, let this clock run out. We'll get the ball back to start the 4th quarter.
And that was actually Travis Hoops on that run, not Drew Love. Apologies on that. So we go down to 12 seconds left and counting. I think they're going to let this one run out.
Yeah, no reason to run another play. You've got the lead. Run that clock as much as you can now.
And that will do it. So we will have 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line when we get back, start of the 4th quarter. At the end of 3, it's Farmington 14, Fremont 7 here on KSL Sports Rewind. Welcome back to the start of the 4th quarter here at Farmington High School. Region 1 title on the line. Trevor Allen, Dave Harrison with you. And 12 minutes to find out who's going to win Region 1.
Well, at this point, it's Farmington's game to lose. If they can continue to run the clock, maintain the ball, possession, puts a ton of pressure on Fremont, especially now that they're directly into the wind.
So it's 1st and 10 at their own 41, now going with the wind. Here's Travis Hoops running right up the middle to the right a little bit, and he'll get to the 45-yard line. They'll mark him at the 46 with forward progress on 1st down. That's a gain of 5.
Another good job running that inside zone. The guys up front for Farmington have just really dominated the line of scrimmage, and that was one of the things Coach Tuatagaloa talked about during the week, was that they had to win in the trenches, and so far, Farmington's ahead of the game there.
So 2nd and 5 for the Phoenix. Not in any hurry to get down the field, although I think Coach Coates would like another touchdown. And Hoops is going to take the carry and was going to hand it off, and he gets tackled, and that was a pretty rough tackle right there. That was number 21, Nash Bailey.
Yeah, really good job.
I mean,
there.
It was legal.
You know, I think he recognized Hoops in the backfield, and the Wildcat decided that he wasn't going for a fake. He was going to take out Hoops. Quarterback back in the ball game now. But again, you know, they snapped the ball with 4 seconds on the play clock. Again, they're going to get under 10 before they snap the ball. Good game management by Coach Coates.
And Webb back in the game. He'll roll out to his right. He'll look for his receiver, and it looks like it's going to go incomplete. That was intended for, trying to get the number, that number 12, I believe, Austin Wilcox.
That's a tough throw coming back across your body. You see that a lot in the NFL, where you kind of have a trailer where you roll out. You're looking for a flood. You're looking for a flood concept on the far side, and then you come back to a trailer receiver. That time just a little bit low.
So Farmington will punt near midfield with the wind as Bainan gets it down, bounces at about the 19, and it's going to get a very generous roll. And that'll go to about the 6-yard line. And that's where Fremont will start their next series.
In that situation, you really want your kick returner to come up and fair catch that ball. You save yourself 15 or 20 yards by coming up and making a fair catch there.
So 10:28 to go here in the fourth quarter. Farmington trying to take a share of the Region 1 title with Fremont. No matter what, Fremont will have a share of the Region 1 title. It just depends on if it'll be outright or if they'll share it.
If I'm Farmington, I'm making sure that number 8 doesn't beat me.
Celestimo lined up alone at the bottom of your screen. Here's Tua Tagovailoa. He's looking for Hadley and overthrows him. That's Jace Hadley. And he's had a couple of those tonight, especially to Hadley.
Yeah, they've run a lot of those out routes, deep outs, 10-yard outs, and just barely missed them. He's been open. The receiver's been open. It's just ball's been a little bit high.
Just shows a lot of power that Tua Tagovailoa has.
Yeah, he's got a cannon.
And he looks to Slade Parker, and he gets hit right as he catches the ball. And he's lucky to make it to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, David Shepard came up, made a nice play there.
Just like that, it's 3rd and 9.
Sorry, it was Gavin Burton that made that play for Farmington.
Drops back, here's Tua Tagovailoa on 3rd down. Going deep, looking for Hadley, and it's picked off! What a grab there for the Phoenix!
I think that was Hoops doing it on both sides of the ball.
Travis Hoops.
What a play.
He not only can make plays on offense, but he'll make plays on defense.
Actually, it looks like that was number 9 for Farmington.
Oh, not number 9,
we apologize to his
Alpha
parents.
It's hard when they bunch up 9 and 8 on the jersey.
Especially the font of the numbers.
But Alpha Fia, either way, he's a guy who can make plays on both ends as well. As a sideline warning is given to Farmington.
And frankly, that throw into the wind, you're probably about the same field position as if you would have punted the ball.
Yeah. All that it does is that it gave Tua Tagovailoa his 6th interception of the season.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
But he had 24 passing touchdowns coming in. He's got 25 now with the one to Mola earlier.
Those are good numbers, and he really has a good arm. Just a junior.
His dad, Nate Tua Tagovailoa, his first year taking over Fremont. Now here's Hoops. And he'll get to the 45-yard line. Gain of 2.
Mo came up, made a nice play. And again, that body language I'm getting from Mo is that he feels like he's going to have to make a play to win the game.
So the interception was from Afu Fia, just to correct everyone. It looked like it was Travis Hoops. That's what I hate about the 9 and the 8 on the jersey, because when it gets bunched up, it looks like an 8.
Yeah, and especially from up here.
Now here's Josh Webb. Hoops goes in motion. Drop back. Fire it in, and
that was a dangerous throw.
That was way ahead of his intended receiver, which was Tanner Nilsson.
He had to back out of the backfield to this short side that was wide open. The corner followed that slant route or the drive route. The receiver stopped in the hole in the zone. I was lucky that didn't get picked off.
Yeah, because there was, what, three defenders right there?
Yeah, that was one he wanted back. Fortunate for Farmington, that didn't get intercepted.
9:05 to go here in the ball game. Here's Webb.
He's got his back out.
He looks for Love, and he's got him. He gets to the 30, pat down to the 25-yard line. What a play right there. Was able to get past Slade Parker for about another 5 yards.
That's a really great play design where you've got 3 receivers at the top of the formation, and they all drive down. It's almost like a rub route, or if you're a defensive guy, it's an illegal pick. And I think they might be calling that pass interference. Oh, they got a hold.
Either way, it's coming back.
Yeah, either way, it's coming back. But still, you got those 3 receivers coming down. It brings the entire defense, and then you just slip the back out of the backfield behind that route concept. Really nice play design there. They wish they could have that back because now you're going to have 3rd and 22. That was fantastic.
That was a great play by Drew Love, but called back by a holding call on Farmington.
Well, it was 3rd and 12 to begin with. It's still 3rd and 12. I missed something.
So big 3rd down here as Hoops comes across. Webb, he's going to run. He'll get to the 40. He won't get enough for that 1st down, but at least it puts them in better position to punt it and maybe kick it. I mean, with the wind, you might be able to kick it, and Bainen's got a leg.
Coach Coates is thinking about it.
And they are going to bring out Bainen.
They're going to try and kick the field goal. Wind at his back. This is about a
55.
That's a big number right there.
55-yard field. Although, from working with Moose Bingham last week, kickers have been doing a great job this year. Some of them have been hitting 55, 60-yarders.
Wait, so Moose is his coach?
Maybe.
I coach Moose at Alta.
Oh. I'm sorry. No, we all love Moose Bingham.
Yeah, he was a fantastic kicker for us. Those were good years when Moose was in town. All right, something happened.
It looks like that they took the delay of game. Did they? No, they didn't. It's still,
I don't
the
think
38.
it was intentional. I think that it just happened and it pushed him out of field goal range. So he's going to try
and now they're going to punt.
We'll see if Celesi fair catches this.
And he's going to let that one roll. He's thinking about picking it up, but then he's like, nope. And that drops down to the 1. Oh, my goodness. What a punt. And great punt coverage by Farmington. That was like the 1-inch line.
That's a really great play there by Farmington. You can't really get it much closer to the goal line than he's got it there. So Fremont's going to have to dig deep here. You're on your own 2-inch line. You've got 99.5 yards to go into the wind to tie the ball game. 7:46 left. See what Fremont comes up with here.
Thing about Fremont, they do have the weapons to get it done, though.
This is true. It takes one play.
1st and 10, in the middle of his own end zone is Tua Tagovailoa. Takes the snap.
Back out.
He's looking. He was looking for Simpkins. Throws behind him, and it falls incomplete.
Just a little bit off. He had him there in the flat. A nice little play design back out of the backfield. Just got to execute.
Is this something that you would normally practice throughout the week, is being pinned back in your own end zone?
Yep.
Some of those scenarios?
You always do situational where you're pinned back deep. You've got play calls for this situation exactly.
Here's Tua Tagovailoa. He's looking for Masters, and it's picked off once again by who else? Fia. He gets to the 20, down to the 10. Stiff arms the man into the end zone. What a play! Touchdown, Farmington!
Fia decided he was scoring and nobody was going to stop him. He did a really great job. They tried to run a slot fade. He got bumped off his route. The ball hung a little bit in the air. And
how about that stiff arm?
Yeah.
As he got down to the 5, he just stiff arms the Fremont player, and just without that, he's not in the end zone.
Yeah, that's a man's play right there. Fia steps up big. We talked about it a minute ago. We thought we were going to call his name more than we have. 4th quarter crunch time, he comes up big for Farmington.
2 interceptions back-to-back for Fia. And that is on senior night. And Fia is a senior. He's going out in style on senior night. We'll go ahead and take a quick 30-second break. Be back after this.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Welcome back. A big play from Afu Fiafia with a pick six and a nasty stiff arm that may or may not make it on the Rewind top plays on Monday.
I vote yes.
I would say yes as well.
Farmington's defense really has made a statement in this second half. Come out, stop Fremont from doing what they wanted to do. They've got after Tua Tagovailoa, Jet Salmon, now Afu with that play.
With a 21-7 lead, Farmington kicks off and it goes into the end zone once again. And we'll see the mindset of Manasseh Tua Tagovailoa throwing back-to-back picks.
I would expect that he's mentally tough enough. He's going to be able to recover from that. He's got to find guys. He's got to make those throws. He's kind of got to get into a little bit of a rhythm. And Farmington's done such a good job putting pressure on him that he hasn't really been able to set his feet and feel comfortable in the pocket. So we'll see if Farmington continues with the pressure or if they sit back and play coverage.
At least for one play, Afu Fiafia is on the sideline.
He's probably still tired.
Travis Hoops is in for him instead, who, is also a very good defender. Hands off. That's to Hadley, and he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Jet Salmon once again making plays for Phoenix.
Jet Salmon, other than Afu Fiafia, has probably been the star of the game on defense.
Yeah, for sure. He really has set the tone, getting after Tua Tagovailoa. I like the play call run there because I didn't expect it, but
Tua Tagovailoa tries to get it to his receiver, and I believe that's Masters, and it is, and just right off his fingertips.
And they say it's a game of inches, and that's a perfect example. That ball's 2 or 3 inches shorter. He catches that in stride, and he probably goes all the way. I like that throw. It looked like he threw that one in rhythm. He had a little bit of time. Just barely missed it.
What would you do here on 3rd and 10 at your own 21?
Look for something short, get a completion, maybe in the flat.
Tries to go to Masters once again. He holds it in.
What a great!
Oh my goodness!
What a
that
great
was
play.
falling at his lap as he was sitting down, and it landed right in there, and he was able to hold on to it.
If Fremont somehow comes back and wins the game, that might be a play we point to because that ball was knocked out of his hands and somehow he came up with it.
6 touchdowns on the year for Masters, but add that to his list of great plays. Tua Tagovailoa throws it. He's got a man wide open. And that's John Suka, and he goes out of bounds.
He got blasted out of bounds.
He gets blasted out of bounds.
Hey, what a great play there by Tua Tagovailoa. Again, keeps his eyes downfield. The receiver releases open. He gets it to him, and hey, this game's not over.
And that's a big play with 6:30 to go here in the game. Down by 2 touchdowns. Manasseh Tua Tagovailoa with 1st and 10. He'll drop back. The lefty's looking. He finds a man, and he's got Moa down to the 10. No one's catching him, and he finds the end zone for the 2nd time tonight. Touchdown, Fremont.
Just like that. Get the ball to your playmakers. Fremont's not dead. I love the way that Tua Tagovailoa responded. You asked about it. Two picks in a row. He comes back and makes 3 fantastic throws. And we, again, might come back to that catch that Master just made on 3rd and long if somehow Fremont's able to come back.
This is turning out to be a great 4th quarter, Coach.
I wouldn't have expected anything else for a Region 1 championship. So often you'll see teams that will just fold up when things are going against them like they've been going against Fremont. But Fremont showing the character of their coach, the personality of their coach. They're not giving up. You're going to have to drag them kicking and screaming off this field.
All right, Dave. So now as we look at it, 21-14 in favor of Farmington. Fremont needs a stop, but if you're Coach Coates, what are you telling your offense? Is it kind of one of those things where you still want to stay aggressive, or are you playing to just hold on? Are you trying more game management?
Well, I think at this point, even though there's 6.5 minutes left in the game, you go into your 4-minute offense mode where you snap the ball with under 5 seconds on every play and keep the clock running. And frankly, their strength is the run game. I think they're going to try and lean on that offensive line to win the game for them right here.
A big series coming up, which could decide the Region 1 title. Again, if you're just joining us, Fremont has a share of the Region 1 title no matter what. They have not lost a region game. Farmington has lost one region game. If Farmington wins, it's a share of the Region 1 title. But if Fremont wins, they get the outright region championship.
Onside kick.
And they're able to get on his Farmington. At least from what it looked like. And it is.
Talked about Coach Tuatagaloa's aggressive. That's an aggressive play call right there. But I think he understands that his defense has got to get a 3-and-out. And so whether they get a 3-and-out midfield or a 3-and-out at the 20, it doesn't really matter.
6:16 to go in what we all thought was going to be a great game. But again, coming into this game, coming into this season, nobody thought that Farmington and Fremont would be playing for the Region 1 title. People have always thought it's always gone through Davis and Weber, not in 2024. Now here's Webb. He'll hand off to Drew Love, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more than that.
Great job defensively. They had power left called where they lead with a fullback and they pull the opposite side guard. Fremont followed that pulling guard, made the play in the backfield. Good start for the Fremont defense. I still think if you're Farmington, you want to run the football. Okay, now they come into an empty set. So,
well, it could be a jet sweep or something like that. You can't rule that out. We'll see. Webb, empty backfield. He's going to throw, and he has got a man. It's caught. Trying to see the number. That is 5. Tanner Nilsson.
Good strong throw there. Good catch. Keeps the clock running. Now you got 3rd and 5.
Third and four. At the 46 in Fremont territory. Big play here. Webb changing the play.
Fremont's going to load the box up and try and stop the run.
As the play clock goes down to 9 seconds. As you said, wait for it to go under 5. Changes it again. 3, 2, and Coach Coates is going to call a timeout.
Smart. This is a big play right here. If they can convert this 3rd down, it goes a long ways. I mean, at least another 2 minutes off the clock if you run the ball every play. So,
well, we'll go ahead and keep it right here. And, you know, Dave, it's just been it's been physical at times, but it's been mainly a defensive battle. I mean, it was 7-7 for probably a good chunk of this game until we hit the 4th quarter. And then plays have been made by guys who we all thought would make plays.
Yeah, both sides of the ball, Farmington's come to play, really made a lot of plays. We've talked about Afu. We've also talked about Salmon. Fremont now defensively, they need to come up with a play, right? They've got to find somebody to come up and make a play. I expect you're going to get a loaded box from Fremont. They're going to bring either pressure if it's a throw, or they're going to load the box to try and stop the run. Probably get man coverage on the outside.
If you're Coach Coates, do you maybe think of reaching into your playbook and finding something a little more creative?
You might get a bootleg. Their boot was open earlier. They didn't run it. They faked the boot, but I think you're going to get a run.
3rd down and 4. Here's Webb. He'll hand off to Hoops. And it looks like he's going to be short. I don't know. He's getting a push. Maybe that offensive line gave him a push, and it looks like he's going to get the first down. Wow, it looked like he was going to be about 2 yards short, and then the line helped him.
Yeah, rugby scrum there, and he just kept his legs pumping, and that offensive line really did a nice job of moving that pile.
Oh, it looks like they're going to mark him just short.
Boy, that's
at least from where that far official was.
Yeah, it looks
who's
like
now over by the marker.
Right on the 42-yard line.
And that's where they needed to go, was the 42-yard line. Good thing we have the legend Bill Francis on camera so we can catch this. We'll see how close it is.
Short.
And it's going to be short. Inches.
So if I'm calling this play here, I'm going on 2. Try to get Fremont to jump.
Okay.
The only problem with that is you've really got to trust your guys aren't going to jump.
Yeah.
Because then you kind of shoot yourselves in the foot. And this is just going to be a man's game. It's going to be up front. The Hogs on the offensive side and the D-line from Fremont. Fremont's got to stay below. They got to get their pad level down so that Farmington can't push them off the line of scrimmage.
If you're Coach Coates, they're the referee right here by Coach Coates here on the home team sideline is just changing the play or changing the game clock to 4:37. But do you maybe go quarterback sneak?
No, I wouldn't go quarterback sneak. If I'm going to run the ball, I'm giving it to Hoops. But this is the same formation they just had, and again, that bootleg was there. Okay. So I don't know if they've got that in their playbook. I think they're going to just run it downhill.
Play clock down to 19. The clock is running, and they're going to go for it, and he got it. Although,
again, second effort, he got hit in the backfield, kept his legs turning, picked up the first down. I think that was Love that time.
It looked like he had fumbled it because they were like scrambling like he did, but True Love holds on to it and picks up a massive first down for the Phoenix. Drew Love has been that guy that no one has really talked about coming into this game, and he's had himself a very nice game.
You know, they're kids in programs who, whenever they're behind a guy that started for years, and when that opportunity presents itself, they really step up, and he's done a nice job tonight of doing that.
Under 4 minutes to go, goes to Hoops out in the flat. He gets to the 40 down to the 45 or 35-yard line, and that's pretty good first down play.
Yeah, I'm surprised they threw the ball, but when you execute it and you make a play like that, it's pretty tough to question the outcome. And again, now they want to just burn clock. Once they get under about 3 minutes, I think Fremont needs to start using their timeouts.
There isn't a 2-minute warning or a 2-minute timeout in high school football.
Nope. The nice thing is, offensively, you can stop the clock. So if you've got your timeouts to burn, you want to give yourself as much time as you can, and you use those on defense.
2nd and 4. Hands off to Love once again, breaks one tackle, and he'll maybe get a yard. It looks like they're going to just spot him at the line of scrimmage.
Another big third down play. I almost wonder if they're probably in field goal position here.
Yeah, and the wind's kind of died down a little bit. I mean, we have the American flags right here above the press box with us, and they're not whipping as they were earlier in the game. I mean, they're still going a little bit. Probably wouldn't help that much, with this kind of wind, right?
It's at about 52 yards.
Yeah.
He's got enough leg. He can get it there.
3rd and 4. In the pistol is Webb. He takes a snap. He's looking immediately. And it was picked off, and he drops it. That is Caden Posell. He might have gone for 6 if he would have held on to that ball.
That was a house call. If he catches that, he's gone. And it looked like he had it and then just bobbled it.
He's going to have nightmares tonight.
Yeah.
Of that play.
Not just tonight. He'll be our age.
Probably going, yeah. He'll be saying years from now how he wish he would have caught that.
Yeah.
He's punching the turf and everything. I honestly don't blame him.
They're going to go for a field goal here. They're under 10 seconds on the play clock. Coach Coates calls a timeout.
Are you shocked at the fact that passing the ball?
I am shocked that they threw the ball there.
And that was great coverage by Postel, but he would have been the hero up in Plain City had he held on to that ball.
He'd have been the toast of the town for sure. But hey, look, there's still 2:16 left. They're going to attempt this field goal. They're at the 34-yard line. They'll line it up at the 42, so it's about a 52-yarder with the wind behind you.
Oh, man. You feel bad for the kid.
Yeah, that's a tough. That's tough when you've got the ball in your hands like that.
But knowing, just even talking to Coach Tuatagaloa, he's still going to love the kid and love on him and say, you know what, we're good. And they do have a safe man back in case it's short. Could be able to return it.
Oh, it almost got blocked.
Kicks it. Doesn't look like it's going to make it, and it is no good. Fremont still has a chance with 2:11 to go here in the game.
Yeah, good field possession. Well, they're going to get the ball at the...
Literally right after he kicked it, the wind picked up more.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't look like he caught it square to me. Like he hit it a little bit low on the ball. Okay, so the ball on the 20-yard line, 2:11. 2-minute offense. The key is first down, you got to pick up yards. Take the flat, take a little hitch route, take anything to get positive yardage.
Something else that is key, Coach Tuatagaloa has all three of his timeouts. Manasseh drops back, he's looking. And he's got Celeste Moa as he goes out of bounds.
That picked up 4, that's a good start. 2-minute O. A lot of times you're going to get defenses just dropping hard, and they'll give you 7, 8, 10 yards in the flat. You've got to be disciplined enough to take that.
Is a lot of it just hoping, like, as you go out into the flat, hoping to make guys miss?
Well, yeah, and really you're just trying to move the chains because first down the clock stops. You're on the sideline, you can get out of bounds, and usually that's where, you can see them, they're dropping.
As Tuatagaloa rolls out, he's going to take it himself. He'll get to the 30-yard line before he steps out of bounds.
That's a tough call.
And it looks like there's a flag on the play, probably a holding.
I think either a holding or a block in the back. It looked like the receiver just tried to pin his guy to the sideline, and the official threw the flag. Of course, it's hard to see from here.
Yeah.
And we've got great officials in the state of Utah, but, man, that looked like a tough call.
You're one of the only coaches to have said that. There's great officials.
I think maybe in my future I might be coaching again, and so you never know.
you got to be in their good graces.
A friend.
Yeah, you got to be in their good graces, right? No, we do have great officials here in this state in all sports. It's a tough job. I've done it. Not for football. I've done it for basketball, and it's hard. And that's a holding call on Fremont. A big play right there. 10-yard penalty. Just as you were starting to make progress down the field a little bit.
Yeah,
you have a big penalty.
It's kind of an off-schedule play. You got the quarterback running. Your receiver's doing everything he can to make a play. And, man, that's a tough call. Okay, you got 2nd and 15 here. You're trying to pick up 7, 8, 9 yards is all.
Manasseh Tuatagaloa in the gun, and the right tackle moves. He even knows it too. Put his hands on his helmet. That's big. That's big. So now it's 2nd and 20.
And now you got to pick up some yards. You got to get at least 10, 15-yard play. You've got some holes in the middle. Looks like you're going to get a cover 4 shell. Underneath in the middle of this defense is where your hole is.
Tuatagaloa finds Simpkins. He makes a man miss. He gets to the 15 and down at about the 18, 19-yard line. And the clock is running.
Nice pickup. You don't need to burn a timeout here. Get on the ball. You need to come up with a play here. But again, they did have some space in the middle of that field against this cover 4 shell defense where you've got both corners dropping deep and 2 safeties dropping deep. Something behind the linebackers.
And Coach Tuatagaloa is going to take his first timeout. You'd probably want to burn that later. You'd probably want to get the play off, and maybe he had a problem communicating to Manasseh.
There had to be something miscommunication-wise because that last play ended with 1:46, so they lost 21 seconds there. But if you don't get this play right, it doesn't really matter. So,
well, again, you've also got 2 plays to get 11 yards, and you still have 2 timeouts with 1:25 to go on the clock.
Yeah, you want to get this one right. So we'll see what they come up with. These corners, again, they've been dropping hard. You've got a 10-yard window on the sideline. Just a matter of getting the ball out before that outside linebacker gets to the flat. You know, the other thing that we saw a lot in the first half was Tuatagaloa scrambled for 3 first downs at 10 yards. So 3rd down and 10, 3rd down and 11. They've converted these in this game. So that's another option that they've got is Tuatagaloa.
Well, you also mentioned earlier in the first half that he's been great on 3rd and long.
Yeah. So it's not like they've never done it.
He drops back. Tuatagaloa looking for his man. It's picked off once again to the 30, to the 20, and down, and that's Kava Fia, Afu's brother. So the Fia's had 3 interceptions tonight from Manasseh Tuatagaloa.
They're going to have a fiesta at the Fia place tonight, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Think about this, Coach. Coming into the game, Manasseh had 5 interceptions. He's now got 8. They have over half of his interceptions that he had coming into the game.
Yeah, you can't say enough about the defense that Farmington's played tonight. They've done a really great job, and Tuatagaloa, he's got a lot of pressure. You're down, you've got to make a play. Ball floated a little bit. It's into the wind, so a lot of factors against you, but hats off to the Farmington defense. They've stepped up and played a great football game tonight.
And barring some miracle, it looks like we're going to have a share of Region 1 title to both Farmington and Fremont.
So they're going to go. Oh, that's a penalty on Farmington because their left tackle. Oh, no.
Coach Coates even said that one's on me. It sounded like it was like getting out of the huddle.
Called the timeout to avoid the.
Oh, he did call timeout. Okay. Yeah, because the flag came out, and so, but it looks like Coach Coates was able to get that timeout in because they are now out of timeouts, though. Coach Tuatagaloa does have 2 timeouts remaining.
He's got 2 timeouts. Still, it's a tough ask at this point.
Well, and even then, they're way into field goal range with the wind. I mean, it's picking up, but it's shifting a little bit more to the west, like northwest.
You almost wonder if you just want to kneel it to avoid any possibility of a turnover.
Yeah, because you are able to do that because it's 2 timeouts. Hand off to Hoops. They're going to try and punch that ball out, and he gets to about the 11-yard line.
He did a good job, both hands on the ball. He just kind of went to the ground once it looked like he was going to get tackled. He didn't take a chance there.
He's saying it's going to take an army to get this ball out of my arms. And Coach Tuatagaloa calls a timeout.
So Fremont's got 1 timeout left. There's 1:07. They'll run another play, call another timeout with about 1:01.
So you would end up having to do something.
It's still possible that Fremont can get the ball back.
And as you can see down here, well, not on your screen, but we're able to see it with Jackson Bainan. The kicker is warming up right there on the Farmington sideline.
Yeah, you might just get a play where they center the ball into the middle of the field somehow. Get down. Don't take a chance of a turnover.
As the overrated chants come out, I wouldn't say they're overrated. I would say they were underrated coming into the season.
I agree totally. You can't take anything
Both
away.
of these teams were, honestly. As Hoops runs it up the middle, he's going to get near the first down marker. He'll get down at about the 6-yard line, 7.
You know, they can pick up a first down and then kneel it out. It'll be over. Fremont's out of timeouts now. 1:01 on the clock. You burn at least 45 seconds with the next play. No, actually, you can probably get down. They might get the ball back with about 10, 15 seconds, but if Farmington kicks a field goal,
that's over, yeah.
Game's over.
But we have seen crazier things happen in the game of football.
And actually, on the last field goal attempt, they nearly got there off the edge. So anything can happen.
They do have the athletes. But just what a big accomplishment for both of these programs. I mean, Coach Tuatagaloa comes over from Ben Lohman as an assistant coach, takes over a Fremont program that was struggling and leads them to a region title, a share of it, and then Farmington as well.
Yeah, you can't say enough about the turnaround that they've made at Fremont. Proud of those guys, been friends with them for a lot of years, and really excited about what he's done. They've still got playoffs coming up. You never know how far a team could go. And can't say enough about the turnaround that Farmington's made this year. Coach Coates, he's a fixture here.
Well, and that was a gauntlet of a non-region schedule. I named it off earlier in the game on the broadcast. Playing teams like Corner Canyon, Mountain Ridge, beating Mountain Ridge, but then, playing such great programs, powerhouses, as you say, around the state.
And as a coach, it gives you that ammunition to go to your kids and say, look, we've seen the best there is. We've played with the best there is. And now we've beat the best, now an undefeated team in our region. So you've got that to fall back on as a coach, that you've played the best. And I think that it serves your program well when you play a really tough non-conference schedule as opposed to playing a bunch of, lesser teams, so to speak.
So the clock goes down to 13 seconds as they take a delay of game, and they are able to go. They did go towards the middle on that last play to set up a easier field goal attempt for Bainan to put this game away. So a 23-yard field goal, basically a chip shot, with the wind helping him, although it is starting to go northwest.
We've got Moa up top. They're looking for a block.
See if someone can jump over a lineman. We'll see what the officials are talking about.
There's ways to get to a kick. You can split the two end guys on the right side, and it's almost like a blitz where you pull pull the wing and the tackle and split that difference and get to a guy. It's tough to execute, but it's a possibility.
Bainan with the field goal attempt, and he gets roughed again as the kick is good. Moa got to the kicker again, almost had the block.
They executed it. They split the two end guys, just barely missed the kick. I thought he had it I thought that they had the block. Good job by Farmington.
They were able to execute the field goal. Now we'll just see. And they're going to take the penalty. Or maybe that's what he's going over to Coach Coates about, saying, are you going to accept it?
Yeah, you take the points. There's really, even if you do return the kickoff for a touchdown, it'll burn the 10 seconds that are left on the clock. Hats off to Coach Coates and the Farmington Phoenix. They did everything they needed to do to win the football game tonight.
And it looks like they're just going. So they actually chose to not take the penalty. So the points come off the board. So it's still 21-14 with 10 seconds left.
Just kneel it out.
And now they're going to kneel it out because it's a first down. And that will do it. Region 1 will be shared by the Farmington Phoenix and the Fremont Silverwolves. Your final score, 21-14 in favor of the Phoenix. Now, Dave, I know this is going to be hard for you. Who's your player of the game? You can have multiple if you want. But who would you say your game ball goes to?
Boy, I don't know. Let me think about this for 1 second. I think you've got to give it to Hoops.
Yeah.
I think he gets into the end zone and executed offensively so well. So offensively, it's got to be him and,
Afufia and
Jet Salmon. I think Jet Salmon really set the tone defensively in the second half. A couple 3 sacks in that third quarter and really kind of kept Farmington ahead of the game. Yeah, I'm going with Jet Salmon.
All right. So Jet Salmon is Dave Harrison's player of the game. And, Coach, it was a lot of fun calling the game with you. I've learned so much about football just in these last couple hours, just talking to you and picking your brain. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll be able to do it again down the road.
Well, I look forward to it. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
For Bill Francis, the legend on camera. The legend. No better cameraman in this state than Bill Francis. And for Dave Harrison, I'm Trevor Allen. Again, your final score, Farmington 21 and Fremont 14. The Region 1 title is shared by these two programs. We'll see you in the playoffs here on KSLSports.com.